And I thank you for joining us. I am Mary Eggert, founder of Global Waterworks, and delighted to have you with us for today's program focused on Israel's NewTech, a program developed by the Israel government to support the promotion and export of Israel's water and sustainable energy technologies. The Israel NewTech program was founded on the belief that the water and sustainable energy sectors have the potential to be strong growth industries for the country and play an important role in meeting the world's rising needs. And this pioneering national program is led by the Ministry of Economy and is supported by a number of additional government agencies who are in fact sponsoring the Israel ICWater Conference at the end of this month in LA. The contingent of 24 technology companies and 20 roundtables, 33 speakers, and the pilots that are already underway addressing the Israel-California partnership related to California's drought and the needs in that state and throughout our world. We have with us the leader of Israel NewTech, Oded Distel, and I'm going to turn it over to him in just a moment.
Thank you, Mary, and welcome everybody. It's a great pleasure being here today and speaking with you about the Israeli water sector. And actually, Mary actually gave the highlights of the talk. And the idea is to describe the way Israel is managing the water scarcity issue, and basically is in a position to say we solved our water needs through different methods. And very, very briefly, I'm going to give the highlights of the way it is being done, and obviously we'll have enough time questions and clarification afterwards. So first of all, the idea is to have a framework, as you see. And in Israel, there is a law that defines water as a national priority and as something that belongs to the people. And it doesn't matter if you own a land, you don't own the water underneath it, or the river that runs in your property. Water, all type of water, belongs to the people. And then, on behalf of the people of Israel, we have the water authority that has the overall authority and responsibility for any aspect of water in Israel, including long-term policy, synchronizing between the different sectors, setting price, quality, quantity, etc. So this is the water authority. Under the water authority, we have the national water carrier, Mekorot, and then the different water utilities that actually supply water to the end clients. Now, the third extremely important element is I can define Israel as a water-saving society, which means that every child in Israel grew up with the slogan that every drop. So you can see it in a very cultural things, like the fact that the level of the Sea of Galilee is on the news. And during the winter time, people are happy because the Kinneret went up 2 centimeters, and during the summertime, a bit gloomy because it went down. So the issue of water was, is, and forever going to be a national priority in Israel, and everybody is extremely sensitive to water. The fourth element is the fact that water has a price in Israel, all type of water. Desalinated water, wastewater, agriculture, domestic, industry, etc. None of its water is free. So the people are willing to pay for their water, and in return they get good quality water 24/7, and they are paying for that. And once all those elements are in place, then we have the technological aspect that is extremely important, and we're going to talk about it in a minute.
Great. I'm moving forward, and I think the the 350 innovative companies you have in Israel NewTech are quite impressive, that I know a number of these are coming to California in just 2 weeks. Could you talk about some of the highlights of your tech innovation, Oded?
Sure. So yes, we're coming with quite a large delegation, actually the largest of its kind. It's the first time we're coming with such a strong force. And in those 24 companies, we have relatively mature, well-established companies like Netafim doing drip irrigation, like Amiad doing filtering, IDE who is doing desalination, and a very large number of extremely young, innovative companies that are doing kind of the edge of the technologies in different aspects, from non-revenue water in municipalities to very advanced methods of wastewater treatment and water reuse. So it's a very wide scope of companies, and obviously the 24 that are coming with us are interested in the Californian market, and there are extremely large number of companies that are here and doing other stuff as well. What is extremely interesting from my point of view as somebody that is watching the water sector for quite a long time is the fact that in recent years we see a wave of kind of high-tech companies entering the water arena and bringing different type of capabilities like analyzing big data and remote sensors and bringing a lot of wisdom into this sector.
Yes, and I think what's interesting is that people observed around the world the wisdom that you have and how you've treated water, and that, I think, instigated the Memorandum of Understanding back in March of 2014. Can you tell us about that and where you're at today with the efforts underway?
Sure. So the Governor Brown and Prime Minister Netanyahu have signed this Memorandum of Understanding, which actually gives us an umbrella for our cooperation. And there is an ongoing dialogue between the water sectors on both sides. We had a very nice and large delegation from California visiting us in WaTech 2015. And in Israel in 2016. So there is an ongoing dialogue, and along with that there is dialogue between companies and technological companies from Israel and from California. The next big step, as you said, the ICWater at the end of this month in Los Angeles, and actually we still have some seats at the conference, so everybody is welcome to enter the website and to register for the conference. And it's an ongoing effort by the two sides, understanding that it's probably one of the most important elements for cooperation between Israel and California.
Yes, and we know that Israel and California have many similarities, being coastal climates, very innovative, very densely populated, and very sizable agricultural exports. But the current water use is actually quite different, as you've analyzed and as Californians have shared. Can you talk us through some of this on the right-hand side regarding average water use, and what would be the strategies to close those gaps?
So first you can see that the average use per capita in California and in Israel is very different. It has to do with lifestyle, but it also has to do with education and awareness. And I think it's an important message that we're going to address during our conference, and this is to create a change of mindset and to say water is scarce, water is important. We have to do things differently than the way we are doing it till now. So this is one important message. And then I would ask you to look at the second bar. Okay, so I'm speaking about the water recycling rate, and as you can see, Israel is at the rate of 85%, which means that 85% of our wastewater is recycled and then reused in agriculture. And it is actually the main source of water for agriculture in Israel. So wastewater is actually some organic materials and water. So once we treat it to a high degree and according to the national standards, it is totally safe to use those water for agriculture. And again, it is mostly issue of awareness, mindset, and closing the business model. Who is treating the water, to what degree, who is building the reservoir, who is paying for whom, and once you have all those elements in place, you have a great source of water for agriculture. Now have in mind that California is using 80% of its water for agriculture, then it's a huge issue and a huge business. And then, of course, we have the issue of the energy-water nexus, also a very big element, and again, a lot of improvement can be done there as well.
Yes, agreed. And I know that some of the technologies that you will be introducing here actually save about 90% of the energy or work off the grid, so that transfer of the energy load for things like desalination and on-site recycling are really making a big difference in terms of sustainability. And is that going to continue, Oded, or have you sort of reached the limits of energy maximization?
No. We are still on the journey. There's a lot that needs to be done, both in terms of pumping the water and transporting the water from point A to point B. There is a big issue in wastewater treatment, minimizing the energy amount that is consumed there. Obviously, in desalination, to use less energy, so a lot that can be done there as well.
Yeah, very exciting. And I know that a lot is already underway. Typically, water conferences are focused on what can be done, but the investment hasn't yet made sense because of the economics of water. But because of scarcity issues, California has taken action in a number of areas, and in fact is a leader with drip irrigation implementation in our nation. I'm wondering if you could just share some of these highlights with research and the financial models, things that most excite you.
Absolutely. So we don't see yet the amount of money invested in water technologies as we would have liked to see. And I'm talking globally about this phenomena. And I think this is mainly because, as you said, the business models are not yet in place and fixed. But what is very clear is that the need is so obvious. Beginning, if we don't solve this issue in a very severe situation. Therefore, my prediction is that in the near future we're going to see much more money being invested in this sector, and actually California is probably the place of innovation globally, is going to play an important role. Same as other places in the US, same as Israel, same as Singapore, probably other places around the globe are also going to join this global effort.
Right, and it's very exciting. I know that you are having people regularly visit Israel to do tours of your water efforts. And I also am aware that people have contacted, or Israel water engineers have seen issues with contamination. Just curious, what does it take for you to send your water engineers abroad? Is it a phone call from someone? Is it an issue that only you can resolve? It's been so wonderful the way you've extended your resources. But
so,
how do you make that decision?
We are very happy to share knowledge and experience with friends around the globe, and Israel is doing very nice work in third world countries, in the developing world, in Africa and Asia and others. And we have our expert also visiting the US, Europe, Australia, and other places. Usually we try to build a full-scale effort around those visits and combine the business aspect with the academic and the professional aspect and have it all as one package.
Yes, it makes sense, and I know you do have many academicians in many of the universities in Southern California also working with you on some of the pilots and labs you've conducted, so that is a wonderful partnership. As you look ahead to June 29th, Oded, can you tell us about some of the discussions already underway and about the catalog of companies that are accessible on your website and how people can learn more about Israel NewTech?
Sure. So, one, we have the website that is specially designed for the conference in California. It is June 29, and on June 30, we're going to be in San Diego. And there you can get all the details about the companies that are coming and the program of the event. We are trying to cover the policy aspect, pricing, economical barriers, policy issues, as I said, and along with the B2B meetings. And Mary, you asked me before what are our goals from the conference. So basically, we are trying to create good business platform for the Israeli companies that are coming. But maybe even more important than that, we are trying to deliver the message that water is important, that water is scarce, and we have to do things differently, and the business as usual model is not valid anymore. So we're going to have 20 roundtable discussions with extremely exciting topics touching all the elements that I just described. We have wonderful speakers both from the US and from Israel. We're going to have Tami Shor from the Israeli Water Authority speaking about the water policy and the philosophy of water management. We have the B2B meetings, and I'm sure it's going to be extremely interesting event.
Yes, and I know we have Karen Ross, Secretary of Agriculture for California, who is in fact, I think, visiting Israel this week or next
Absolutely.
week. Yes, to gain a greater understanding and collaboration. And also Felicia Marcus, head of the California Water Board, who has definitely been responding to the needs there, but obviously values greatly the support that Israel has provided. And I think for people who have not yet registered, I mentioned the Israeli Water Innovation website here that you can go to, which includes information for the press and FAQ. It also includes within that FAQ, you can go to links to YouTube webinars regarding the different companies and also the speakers. So I want to open it up for questions, and if you could use your message box to just alert us to the fact that you have a question, and Ronnie will call on you, and you can share it here. So, and as we wait for that next question, I'd just like to ask Oded. You mentioned that water is a God-given right, which it essentially means it should be free. But you've managed to address the value part in Israel. Could you just help us understand how we might address it here based on what you've done?
Thanks. And I think it's an extremely important point for the public opinion to understand that, as you said, water is a human basic right, but a human basic right that costs money if you want to have it as a sustainable human right. And as I said before, the water in Israel always had and have a price. And it's something that the public is aware of. The pricing mechanism is as such that water price is a national issue, so citizens in the north, in the south, in the center, everybody pays the same price. Water quality is very high, and there is a difference in terms of quantities. So if somebody consumes a basic amount of water, price is about $2, and then if somebody consumes large amount of water, the price can go up to double or 3 times higher than the original price. So it has to do a lot with education and the fact that it's in the mindset of people.
Well, right, and I think you're also able to measure that water usage in a way that quite often municipalities here or elsewhere around the globe haven't yet managed to do. And so the essential aspect of the data management, any comments on that and the future of smart water and what we can expect?
Sure. Very, very important point. Every drop of water is measured, and everybody pays according to consumption. So I know in some places around the globe, people pay sometimes according to the size of their house or number of people in the family or as a fixed price. Obviously, those type of mechanisms do not encourage people to save water. But if you have a price mechanism that you pay exactly according to consumption, then you are encouraged to save water. Obviously, there is the investment aspect of putting meters and measuring the water, but in the long run, it is proven to be the right method.
Yes, I in fact heard of someone where they've started doing this in a local municipality, and the guy was out watering his lawn and observed his neighbor watering his lawn in the middle of the day and regularly overwatering. And he said, "I'm just curious, want to know what your water costs look like." And he said, "Oh, I haven't checked my water costs." And when he did, they compared and found that they had adopted this accelerated fee structure, which incentivizes savings, and the man who was watering efficiently was paying $200 a quarter, and the other one was paying $900. So he immediately adjusted his behavior.
Exactly.